Hello everyone, welcome to another Average Angler Live match. Today we're doing another cost cutter challenge. I'll put the amounts that we've got in the kitty up here. Might be a bit less than you expect, and that's because we've missed a match. I couldn't film it. The last match up here I drew peg 27, which is not a brilliant area. As you've seen me fish there before, I ended up like 10 or 15 pound outside the framing places. Couldn't quite make it work down there. It was really hard, and the venue fish really hard. But I couldn't film it because, like a donkey, I left the memory cards at home, so I had two cameras with no memory cards in, so that was useless. So anyway, today we're back again. We're on peg 40. You're not drawn this for a while. It's absolutely blowing a gale as usual. I don't really want to get my nice pole out, so I'll probably get my backup pole out. I have bought some feeder rods with me because I weren't sure what I was going to draw. Probably leave them in the bag unless things get desperate. I've bought some caster. I've just decided to get some caster from the tackle shop. I'm just looking at the peg now. I've got a bridge, so I might just, you know, I can fish sort of halfway and throw some casters and just see if I can get the fish to come up shallow near the bridge, even if it takes me all day to just feed in that. You can sometimes catch quite, you know, a nice run of fish shallow. There's the option then to go on the deck. If that doesn't work, I can drop on the deck over where I chuck the casters. Probably put a bit of ground bait on the bottom anyway, just in case there's any tench there. And then if I can fish with my sort of tertiary pole, it's not even my second pole because that's been damaged recently, so I'm on my third pole, which is like a really old school power pole. Hopefully I'll be able to fish along long enough to be able to fish up the far bank and put some micros and expanders in and catch. There's quite a lot of sort of stocky size carp on these pegs, and they said I've got to just see if I can find a flattish spot across that I like the look of, or a spot where I feel like I can fish. I've got a bit of maggot, could look at a short line, potting maggots and ground bait in towards the end. Don't know, these are all thoughts that are going through my head. And once I sit on the peg and I've plumbed up a bit and I've got a feel for the day, I'll decide what I'm doing. So next time you see me, we'll be fishing. Right guys, we've had 3 puts so far. We've got 3 fish. Landed 2, got £6 in the bag. Lost 1, I think I pulled out of him quite quickly, so he's all foul up to her. I was just pulling to her because I'm near this bridge. I've got quite a light hook on at the moment, which I might have to change if the bites keep coming at this rate. I'm just tapping some micros, feeding fish like expand out, and then wind's just doing all the casters on the bridge. Crap. Yeah, just there where the casters are. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but just where the casters went in. I put a big pot, half a pot of casters in there at the start. I've got a regular fishing on the bottom there, and I've got a couple of shallow rods. Which will just keep feeding it and sort of prepping it, but at the moment I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing here, which I found a nice flattish area. Right. Where I'm fishing now, it's found a nice flattish area on the slope. I'm just tapping in some micros and just putting a 4mm expander over the top. I'm going to bite every single put in so far. It's a bit tricky with the winds blowing across me. This pole is very bendy compared to the poles that I'm used to. I've got a bit spoilt by having nice poles over the years. This is sort of a bagging up, margin-y sort of emergency, get me out of trouble if I need to absolutely do some heaving pole, but just because I know what the wind can be like here at Acorn, didn't want to have my expensive, that could be a foul, that seems really shallow, that fish, and didn't want to have my expensive pole. That was a foul of it. That's lots of tail already. I'm not going to feed this put in. I feel like maybe that constant feeding that's blocked. Maybe let's put a few fish up off the bottom. First couple were definitely in the mouth, and it might be an issue today, foul lockers. It usually is here. Get a bite just quickly without. Should have did it fairly squarely up to the house. Oh my god, it's even. It's not even possible to like feed casters accurately with a catapult. Yeah, so I'm going to fish a longer last than I'd like to because this pole just waves about in a slight bit of wind. But touch wood, it's relatively bulletproof, so don't worry about breaking it. I'm more worried about it coming off the rollers and getting broken, but this pole is very old. I was worried about it coming off the rollers. Get broken in, you know, it doesn't owe me anything. I've had it for decades. lots of positive indications. Quite quickly. I'm lucky on the lake today that I'm able to kind of fish across. Just the angle of the wind on this particular peg's not as bad as it is on the other pegs. It could be noisy because they're doing some work on installing the new power lines for the Hinkley Point power station. And there's helicopters coming in to help them. There's been a couple of helicopters coming in already. There's a good bit of tow away from the bridge on this line, I've noticed already. And it's interesting that I've not had a bite now, I've not fed this time just to see what happens. And I've just not had a bite. So they definitely want a bit of food. That would certainly have gone by now if I'd have fed. So we're coming back in a second and feeding, just making sure that we don't just get a nice clean bite, waiting a bit longer. Don't want to get into foul luck city if we can help it. I feel like I've had 50% foul luckers already. It might just be got to work through them and there's a bite there. It's not a bit. Yes, skimmer. Yeah. Nice skimmer. Cracking skimmers have been stocked in here recently. Almost dead carp down here, but I've tried to scoop him out. I was going to put him on the bank, but he's actually still alive, so I didn't want to take him out while he's still alive. So he's just nicked. He's still in a net. Yep. So there's definitely some skimmers down there feeding on those micros. I've gone for quite a big pot straight away. Normally I would go for, I mean it's not a big pot. Should be fishing big pots like that this time of year, but the weather didn't say that. I've been fishing with smaller pots. I did that last time I was up here, peg 7 to my left. I was on the peg to my left a couple of weeks back. Fishing to the point of the Sand Bridge, and I found that I fished. Oh my God, I'm really struggling to feed today. I found that if I put too small on a margin, I had that foul problem where I'm going to put a bit more bait. It was better, so I started more positively today, which could backfire on me. I'm on the slope, I'm in about 3 foot of water, something like that. Come down the slope on this particular peg, it's just a flatter area. Roughly when I'm fishing now, it just sort of slope just levels off a little bit before it drops quickly again down into sort of 6 foot. I don't want to fish in 6 foot for carp. I've got, you know, I've got casters in the 6 foot under the bridge for silvers. And then hopefully I'll catch carp on that line by Indian casting. Sorry about all the noise, there's a tractor now behind us. It's quite hectic here today. What's going on? As you can see. We're hooking fish pretty regularly. Just continue to shark them with it. I can't see it continuing for the whole match. These things rarely do. That's why I'm setting up that second line. You always need somewhere to go. You can't rely on one line in match fishing. If you know, for those that are watching this and are new to match fishing or don't do many matches or whatever, your line can die in an instant or just become a nightmare. You can't hook anything. And you've got to come off it and rest it. It's a massive difference resting a line can make. So if you've got somewhere else you can go and catch some fish, even if they're not the same stamp. As long as you put something in your net and you go back to it, it's worth it, because then when you go back to it, you're catching well again. This must be foul up. Yeah, this is a big F1, I think. Big F1 or a small common. I think it's hooked in the dorsal fin. It's a random place to hook them. There must be loads of them swimming around shallow down there. It's impossible to control them once they get into my nets. He's definitely not hooked in the mouth because he'd be in the bag now. He's not very big. He's not big enough to dominate my setup like this. Missed him. Away from that dead fish, I'm probably scooping him. Dying fish. Oh, come here. That's a big F1. I think. Yeah, big F1. There's a few of these in here. There's not loads of them. It's definitely a line bite. Hooking it in the door for a second. Yeah. That's a big F1, probably. I think he's borderline £3. I'll give myself 3 for him, that's probably generous. Right, I'm going to switch off to save some batteries for later, but that's how we're going, catching a bit. Right guys, we're just over an hour and a half in. As you can probably hear or see, the weather's definitely not improved. If anything, it's got a little bit windier, as I suspected it would. Just clicked, just had a fish about £8, £9 maybe, and that's just clicked us up to £50, which from what I can see is absolutely flying today. A lot of people can't fish their pegs now, they want to fish them. Well, they need to fish them. A lot of people resort to method feeders, which was, I had brought my method feeders with me today. I did say that that was something I had considered. You know, with the weather forecast as it is, it's just ridiculous. Well, I haven't come off this line, so I've caught £50 of fish off this line. I've lost quite a few fish, probably lost another £20, but they're all foul hookers, apart from definitely had a 10 chucked in the mouth. I just pulled out of him at the net. He was nice, like £4 tench, lost him. Other than that, the glass skim, everything else has been a carp. So, yeah, it's really hard to sort of fish over there with any sort of finesse. Trying to get the float to sit right on top of where the bait goes in, but obviously I need a long lash because the wind's blowing and this pole's a bit bendy, and you know, it's really hard to keep the rig where I want it to. But the other issue that I'm having is occasionally I get the spells where there's loads of fish shallow in the swim. I've tried to catch them. I've just come off a 10-minute spell trying to catch them shallow at different depths and messing about with different depths and moving up and down, but I just can't seem to make it happen. The wind's now as bad as it's been all day, particularly bad in a couple of minutes here. But I do still get bites, so it does seem to be fishing itself okay, but obviously it's going to encourage lighter more. It's going to encourage a lot more foul hookers, which is not what we want. But again, seems to get spells of catching fish on the bottom as well. And well, I stopped feeding every putting because I thought I'm just encouraging these fish to come up, and it just didn't work. So I got worse and worse, and I started catching lots of stocky size fish. So I've gone back to feeding every single time I go out there with with like a medium-sized cab pot on, or whatever those ones are, the matrix ones are called, toss pots or whatever. And the stamps are improved. Instead of catching stock, it's catching 5 plus fish. This might be foul up weight playing. It could just be a lunatic. Yeah, it's foul up. Yeah, I've got to scale back low. So yeah, that's a foul look, and that's that wind. I've gone up an hook size, got bust a couple of times with these foul hookers. Just seems to have affected my catch rate. So I've got a bigger hook and just gone to only 13. I was catching over 11, which, you know, sounds quite light, but I can't seem to catch on it. I can't seem to land fish quite aggressively, especially with like lightish hybrid elastics. So I'm up to £50, which not even 2 hours in, so in a 6-hour match that's £150, which if you'd have offered me £150 at the start of the match, I'd have snapped hands off because I'm absolutely certain £150 will be in the frame. We've probably got a very good chance of winning today. You know, they're the sort of weights that have been winning matches up to sort of low tons. Low ton will definitely get you in the frame today, unless it fishes its head off, which don't look like at the minute it's going to do. Even feeding accurately, it's becoming tricky. I don't know if you noticed there, the wind's just blowing your pole tip around. Sometimes I don't feed until it eases off. There's loads of fish blowing and fizzing over the casters. So I could always drop onto that for 5 minutes if this line gets too foul lucky, and just let the fish come in, let the fish stay out there, they'll clear out them micros that have gone in. And then I can go, start fresh. I've got a nice clean bottom and a nice clean setup, and then I should start catching again, because I think that's what happens, it gets too much bait on the bottom. It gets a bit messy. Whoa. Absolutely ridiculous at the minute, the weather. I'm hoping it's not going to stay like this the rest of the day. It's going to be back-breaking trying to wrestle this pole in this weather. Slowed it down a little bit. There's definitely not as many shallow indications as there was. So whether that's the wind or it's just one of them spells, I don't know. I don't mind it if I'm going to catch a good quality fish. Like the last fish that I landed just before I put the cameras on was best fish of the day. 8, maybe 9 pound. So that's what we want. Indication there. Not really striking anything except really positive movements, because there's so many foul uppers at the moment. When it's calm, you can see the fish are in there, because the float will suddenly just move left and then it'll move right, and then it'll move left again and right, and you're like, it's definitely not the wind or tow. It's so erratic. It's just big fish, shallow. But I've tried so far to turn those big fish shallow into fish, and the only way I can really catch seems to be just to wait it out on the bottom. Everything I've caught trying to fish shallow has been foul locked anyway. I've not actually managed to hook anything in the mouth in my attempts to fish shallow so far. Could be another foul up, I don't know. Positive bite. It's slowed a little. This is the slowest it's been. I don't mind if it results in fish in the mouth. Feels nicely hooked. It's like a smallish sort of 4 pounder, I'd say. Be the first fish in my second net. If we can get him in. Tiny little mouth. There's not many fish like that in Acorn. Managed to get that expander in, bless it. That was on 54 pound by my clicking. So I'm going to turn that off. It's not exactly exciting. I'm just going to keep plugging away. I'm going to keep pinging casters on this line, because it's definitely got a few fish. I might even put another pot on it while I'm sitting. If I turn the camera off, I'm probably just going to go and put another little pot on there, just to tighten them fish up that are down there. I'll catch in a bit. So about 3.5 hours through, so just past the halfway point now. We've only actually managed to squeeze up about 65 pound now. So got a bit harder. I lost the rig, so I had to foul up one of these fish and it went under the bridge, and it cut the rig off because it rubbed the rig above the float against the stanchion on the bridge, and it cut it off. So I lost the whole rig. I took that opportunity to have a look over the caster line, and I've had maybe 4 or 5 tench, but sadly for me they're not the big 4 to 5 pound, they're just not 1 pound fish. It's not been fast and furious, so I've come off it. I've had to get another rig out of the box and retie a rig on this spot that I'm on now. I'm just going to back over it. I've had 2 or 3 carb over, well, I've had a couple of carb over it to start bumping that weight back up. So, I might have another £5 on top of that, so I might be closer to 7. I'm might be quite, I've definitely got more 70s and silvers I've got as well, but I mean I might have added a little bit more weight than £10 just because I've got some silvers but I don't click them. This is a small little fish. It's whipped in the mouth. He's not small fish, it's just a weird fighter. Let's see if we can get him quickly. He's on the top. Oh, where is he? He's in, he's out. Yeah. Really skinny fish. Probably not quite £4. But I'm going to give myself £4 because I think I've been under clicking a few of the other fish. So that puts 69 there. It's just a case of just keeping at it. I've also noticed with the bridge peg, the line on the bridge peg is it's towing so hard down the middle that actually the best place to get bites is several feet away from the bridge, even though I'm feeding up against the bridge. It's a little bit too tight, but that's roughly where I'm feeding. You might notice there I just chucked some bait down that left hand. I have plumbed up a little rig there, and I'll probably put micros on it while fishing it, but I just want to put some hard form, just keep throwing some hard 6mm down every now and again, just to try and encourage them, because there's a nice flat spot there, similar depth to across. It's different. I've set up a different rig for it. It's like a float, it's a length and a half shallower probably, so I didn't want to use the same rig. But I'm adapting one of the rigs I set up at the start for shallow fishing over the caster. I'm not sure what I was going to do, and I had like a half depth rig. Just adapted him to fish down here for now. I feel like the way I'm feeding and the way I'm fishing, I'm going to bring them carp up shallow. I mean, if I wanted to, I could go up against the bridge and just ping the casters at every sort of 10 or 15 seconds. I probably have carp shallow everywhere, but I'm honest, I'm trying to avoid doing that. Straight under the bridge if that fish did. Foul looker or not? He's busting me up or? No, he's not. I thought he busted up then because he sort of got right under the bridge. So yeah, it took a while, but they're coming back again now because I've started feeding it again. It's just a case of sticking at it. Feeding 2s and 3s. Pellets down to that line there, not particularly accurately at the moment. More by accident that than on purpose. Accidentally being rubbish at it. Let's see, all micros down the same hole still. This rig, I haven't shotted it quite as much down as the previous rig was shotted down, just to try to help me identify liners and that. So I'm waiting for the whole bristle to Houdini away in one motion rather than any sort of slow or weird movements I'm not striking at. When you've got it dimpled down, everything looks like a Houdini bite, it's just disappeared. It's hard to get this to sense how fast that bite was. You want to be looking for fast bites really when you're doing this. It dinked, and I didn't want to hit it, but it dinked again, so I thought, oh well, let's see whether the way it's come in, it feels like it's in the last note. That's a foul looker as well then. Sorry if the wind, if you're picking up wind noise, there's nothing I can do about it. Let's go away with a single maggot on. So there could be some silverfish there. It's like a big bream. Could be some silverfish there. It's not worth catching. Might be catching. Yeah, this is a nice bream. Look at this. It said there's some bream. Some good bream been stopped in there. And that is one of them. Yeah, that's like a tent. That's like one of them big tents, I think. Whoa! There could be a few of them over there which I'm missing out on. I'm not putting the maggot on. I have caught one of my best carp across with a single maggot on earlier, but I didn't stick with it. But to be fair, I keep striking and missing all these bites at the moment, which is a bit slower. Could be the way to go. Try one more pot without feeding. Probably should feed after that big one, after that big skin that's just come out of the swim. The ducklings are massive already, look like what ducks. Right, we've probably got just over an hour to go. Right. Got an hour to go. I've gone down that middle line. A few more tents, but I can't catch anything big. And this line, this long line where I'm slapping now, is where I've been catching on the bottom. But every time I go over there now with a rig, I'm just getting loads of indications of fish shallow. So just started to slap a rig in there. I've not fed any hard pellets. I'm just slapping in a hard pellet. Giving it a few slaps, just letting it sit for a second so someone can grab it, which is what happened a second ago. Just had one about 6 or 7 pound. Got quite a long lash on this rig. Just trying to keep the pole tip out of the way. I don't think it really matters now, to be honest. I might shorten it in a second just for ease. I think these fish were scared by the pole tip. They were still coming with the pole tip when I was feeding them. You know, I was feeding the bait. Some other bag's gone in, back in the swing there. It's been blown off somebody's peg or somewhere. What I'm going to probably do in a minute is just shorten this lash down. So I can get the slapping a bit more repetitive in the same spot. Let's see if we can take another 2 or 3 fish doing this, that'd be nice. There's absolutely loads of tench fizzing down the middle of the swim at the moment, so there's something else I could look at doing, but there's more tench at what I want. Probably left it too late to frame in the silvers. And I'm probably in a really good position for the carp, so I'd rather stick with that. So hard, it's hard to get the camera. Still feeling a bit too deep actually. Shut that up a little bit. We are, it's not happening, it's there, like I said, really keep going with this thing. We are definitely a bit deeper, a bit further down. Fish there, there's another good fish this is. Oh wait, it comes in. shakes, this one. Some much bigger shakes on it. Oh, I missed him. I just caught him on the end of the nose, so he won't be happy now. Oh, nice big commons in there. Trying not to let him bump into my nets because I've already been done. I've already had a fish. Transfer the hook into the net today. I don't want it to happen again. Nicely hooked. What I'm going to give him, he's going to be probably 7, isn't it? Got to be at least 7. So do we start pinging a few over there? Just 2s and 3s probably. Looks like that slapping's over then, didn't it? I had 3 fish on that quickly and I can't get a fish off it. Try a little bit deeper just for a second. I'm not going to put some weight on the baited rig. Going to feed the casters. This head's fine. I'll quickly bomb out and have a look and see if we can nip one. If it still looks like it's foul look city, then we'll have a look over this tench line. There's loads of fizz in there. I'll let them sort of swim around the bait a bit, so hopefully the bait will stand out a bit more. Loads of them there. Oh, it's not windy, I can hold the rig. Lower it down, spot on. What's that feed? See if that gets me a quick bite or not. I don't like it, but we've not had a stupid liner straight away, which is also good. Oh, I steady biters away. Is that a liner or is that slapping? Could have sent some fish in the area, you see. They've gone up on down to have a look and then found all them micros that we would feed you. Be down there. Often happens like that. Little £2. £94. Definitely smaller fish when you fish on the deck, aren't they? Bought a lot of casts with the intention of fishing from the water, but I couldn't catch it over there very accurately. I might have been able to fish it long if I'd have tried. Hello, found a shallow again. $6 minute on beat.